Connecticut Library for Accessible Books, CT Lab, Advisory Committee meeting minutes from October 11, 2024. Virtual meeting via Zoom. Present, John Corona, Fred Chittister, Kristen Dockendorf, Matt Giza, Howard Goldstein, Eileen Kelly, Deb Reed, Deborah Schonder, Sandra Streeter, Peter Williams, and Matt Wiseman. Absent, Kevin McNally. Others, Suzanne Kiss, meeting minutes. Call to order. Deb Reed called the meeting to order at 10:02 a.m. Matt Giza took attendance. Approval of minutes. Fred Chittister moved. Second, Kristen Dockendorf, to approve the meeting minutes of the July 12, 2024 meeting. The motion was approved. Reports. State Librarian Report. Deborah Schonder reported that the Connecticut State Library's strategic framework was approved by the State Library Board. Dawn Laval and her team are leading the effort to develop more detailed reports for each individual unit based on the broader agency's policy. We will hear more about these efforts in the future, but we are very happy to have an approved framework guiding the actions of the agency forward. Deborah also reported that we are in the process of preparing for the next legislative session. This will be the long session in which the biennial budget is set for the next 2 years. Like all agencies, we were asked to submit requests based on our budget and to propose possible cuts up to 3% of our budget. The agency is already working within a very tight budget, so we're trying to find a balance between being responsive to those requests while also conveying that our budget is already tight. The $100,000 for CT Lab was not among any of the proposals, so we anticipate this will be retained. We did make requests related to increasing or supplementing our current budget, mostly related to staffing, particularly within DLD and some other staffing needs. We also requested funding for preservation needs in our archives and in the museum, and related to the law and legislative materials we provide to the legal community. Over the next few months, the Office of Policy and Management will be reviewing our requests and discussing them with us before the final budget is released early next year. After Deborah's report, a question was raised. Is there anything that individually we can propose to legislators to approve additional materials? Deborah suggested contributing oral or written testimony in support of the State Library's budget during the public hearing process, which should be taking place in March of 2025. CT Lab members will be informed about when the public hearings will take place. CT Lab Director Report. Matt Giza reported on the latest NLS and CT Lab updates. NLS updates. My Talking Book skill for Alexa. The National Library Service for the Blind and Print Disabled, NLS, opened beta registration for the new My Talking Book skill on Amazon Alexa-enabled smart speakers on September 25, 2024. Open beta is a stage in software development where members of the public, patrons in our case, have an opportunity to experience and test software prior to production release. My Talking Books on Smart Speaker is a Bring Your Own Device, BYOD, service. Open beta participation requires the following: access to an Alexa smart speaker enabled device, an active BARD account, an Amazon account, and a phone number. Currently, there are 5,000 licensed seats for patrons nationwide. Patrons who are onboarded must use the My Talking Book skill at least once every 30 days to remain in the program. If a patron does not use the My Talking Book skill within that 30-day window, they will give up their seat in the beta program. This will allow NLS to register another patron from the waiting list for the beta program. NLS tells us that open beta will run for at most 1 year or until NLS has a production contract in place to support this product. NLS National Conference. Matt attended the NLS National Conference from September 10th to 12th, 2024. The NLS National Conference meets every 2 years. It was the first time that the conference was held at the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C. since the late 1970s. While at the conference, Matt had a chance to hear a lot of updates from various NLS staff members and hear about the NLS's goals and plans for the next 5 to 7 years. Matt also presented at the conference as part of the NLS Northern Conference presentation. The topic of the Northern Conference presentation was innovative outreach. Matt, along with network library staff from Maryland, New York, and Pennsylvania, represented the Northern Conference. Matt's portion of the presentation focused on the CT Lab hub libraries. After the conference, NLS featured CT Lab in their interlibrary newsletter, On the Move. CT Lab outreach updates. Since our April Advisory Committee meeting, CT Lab participated in 4 outreach events that reached over 127 individuals. Outreach events included a visit to the Preston Public Library, 2 health and wellness fairs, and a visit to the Bureau of Education and Services for the Blind, BESB, Adult Services Department. It was especially good to meet with the BESB Adult Services staff. They provide a lot of referrals to CT Lab, and the staff was eager to learn about updates to CT Lab services. CT Lab recognized by Connecticut Age Well Collaborative. In the summer of 2024, the Connecticut Age Well Collaborative asked Connecticut residents to tell us about the hidden gems in their communities, from the best accessible attractions to the most welcoming local businesses, to the most inspiring programs and initiatives. CT Lab and the 9 public libraries that serve as CT Lab hub libraries were recognized by the Connecticut Age Well Collaborative as, quote, places and programs that demonstrate age, dementia, and disability inclusivity all across our state, end quote. The Connecticut Age Well Collaborative is a statewide cross-sector initiative that fosters aging, dementia, and disability-inclusive communities. Their information materials go on to state that, quote, delegated by the Commission on Women, Children, Seniors, Equity, and Opportunity, we're leading the state's Livable Communities Initiative. Connecticut General Statute, Section 17B-420A. Livable communities are inclusive, vibrant, intergenerational places where we can all thrive across the lifespan, end quote. After Matt's report, Matt was asked to share information with CT Lab members about the Connecticut Age Well Collaborative. Matt will send information out as requested. A question was raised about NLS monthly meetings. Matt invited any CT Lab members who would like to receive email communications from NLS to email him directly to get set up. Old business. There was no old business. New business. Braille Discovery Kit idea for libraries. Matt provided some background information about the Middletown Library Service Center, MLSC, as context for the development of the Braille Discovery Kits. MLSC is known as a library for librarians. All materials housed at MLSC can be requested by libraries across the state to be used for programming or to loan out to patrons. The types of collections available at MLSC include juvenile picture books, nonfiction juvenile books, books on CD, large print books, book discussion sets, usually 10 to 14 books per set, STEM kits, and puppets. Matt has been working with DLD's children and young adult consultant Kim Poe to develop Braille Discovery Kits and to make them part of the MLSC collection. Libraries could borrow the kits for accessible story times and to help promote awareness of alternate literacies. Materials being considered for the kits include Lego Braille blocks, Lego Braille kits, activity sheets, 6 Dots, the story of Louis Braille as a twin vision book, a Braille exit or office sign, Braille alphabet cards, Braille flashcards, Braille paper, Braille stylus, and slate. Comments and ideas provided by CT Lab staff members. Braille plastic learning letter magnets, elevator buttons, directional signs, right, left, and north, south, east, west. Early Learning Braille app or additional resources list. Braille board books for young readers, more Twin Vision books. Be sure to cover a range of reading levels, and egg cartons with ping pong balls or muffin tins with tennis balls to practice writing basic Braille words. A stylus and slate would be too advanced. A question was raised about whether MLSC materials are geared towards blind and low vision people. Materials available at MLSC that can be used by people who are blind or have low vision include large print books, books on CDs, storytime kits, which include tactile elements, and it was noted that CT Lab is housed at the MLSC. A discussion followed regarding who is eligible to request items from MLSC. The committee views the idea of creating and offering Braille discovery kits favorably. Matt will bring the ideas discussed in this meeting to Kim for further discussion and development. Adjournment. Meeting adjourned at 11:05 a.m. Our next meeting will be held via Zoom at 10 a.m. on Friday, January 10th, 2025. Respectfully submitted, Suzanne Kiss, Administrative Assistant, Connecticut State Library, Division of Library Development.